Plenty of time to think about how pleasant it would have been if when God told Abram that he would be the father of many nations, she just started popping out babies and everything was easy. But guess what? In that time, she could have fallen away from God. She could have taken that as, look at me. Look at how special God thought I was to make me the mother of many nations. In that 90 years of her life that she wasn't able to have children, she was able to reflect on what has happened to me is only something that God could have done. And then share that faith with others. Also through her anguish and pain and time of disbelief and coming back to what God wanted her to be, she was able to have some wisdom to share with other people about what it looks like to go through hard times, what it looks like to trust God. Yes, making mistakes, yes, hurting, yes, being in pain, but trusting that in the end, he was going to do what he said he was going to do. Sometimes in life, we may not have our mother. And I know that today there are some people who are hurting because their mother is not here anymore. And it may be the first Mother's Day, or it could be many Mother's Days away. I know when my father passed away, it's been over 20-something years, and Father's Day still hits the same for me. And we don't know why God chooses to do things at the time that he chooses to do it, but we know that his way is perfect. And we know that sometimes God's timing, when he makes all things right, may not even be in this life. It may be when we reach glory. But it's worth it. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither my ways your ways, declares the Lord. And as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." People often say the phrase, God works in mysterious ways. But what I say to that is, God always works within his character, which means that everything that happens works for the good of those who love him. And it may not be that that was his will for that hurtful thing to happen, but if we are trusting in him and following his plan for our lives, all things work out for the good. Abraham's descendants had to experience captivity. And when we go to Jeremiah 29:11, which many of us know, most of the time it's not shared that this verse was spoken during a time of captivity, a time when people were in chains, where they didn't have hope or know what was going to happen with their future. And in that time, the Lord gave Jeremiah these words. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." And the next verse goes on to say, "Then you will seek me and find me." And I didn't put that part, or the rest of the words to that part in. But there's a second piece to it that talks about the practice that we have to do. Yes, the Lord is going to